Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Peggy.
I'm Amanda, and you're watching the Junction Fiber Mill Millcast.
No, Millcast, yeah.
We're recording this on Monday, January 15th.
Yeah. A little chilly this morning.
Yeah, not only outside, but in the mill.
Yeah, I got here early, and it was 47 degrees, and I was like, what the heck? And I thought, had I done something over the weekend? And I thought, well, there. So I'll just wait a few minutes while I started things going, and it didn't budge. We have a terrific company in our area called Dead River, and they supply the propane for our heater. And I called them, at 7:30 in the morning, and I'd say, I don't know, by 9 o'clock they were here getting it hooked up and getting us back in business.
So it's now heating, but I'm still a little chilled, so I've got a lot of layers on.
And I've got an incredibly warm sweater.
Yeah, what are you wearing?
This is a sweater my friend Ann Crory knit years ago, and I think it didn't fit her or whatever. She said here, and it's
Did she
mohair.
hand spin it?
That's a great question. My guess is no, but maybe she did.
I would be very impressed. It seems like it would be really hard to hand spin with mohair.
I've never done mohair.
I mean, it's hard to machine spin with mohair. It just doesn't have like any of the scales, none of the crimp to hold it together. Crimp. Just slippery.
And I don't know if you can see it, but it's very fuzzy.
Yes.
And I always
got the glow.
Yeah, when I put it on, I always feel like I'm a Dr. Seuss character. That sort of woo. But anyway.
And I am wearing our two latest knit-along.
Yeah, the hat?
Yeah, I have the hat on, the Read This hat, and I've got, of course, the Nourishment cowl on. This is just a shop sample. I'm not finished with mine or anywhere near that.
Yeah.
But it is really cozy, so now I'm excited.
Yeah, stay warm.
Yeah.
Did you have a good weekend?
I did. What did we do? I can't even remember.
That's what happens.
I got a lot of, stuff done.
Good.
That I needed to get done. A lot of looking into things, researching some stuff. Went for a walk yesterday with Cody and Maeve, and we were like, it's lightly snowing. We're gonna go out for this nice little hike. It was supposed to be 4 miles, and I had my poles, and I was all prepared for it. And we got a mile and a half or so in, and we got totally hit by the squall that came through.
Yeah.
And I was scared.
Yeah,
it was whiteout conditions out there, and so I was like, we're turning around, and we were about 50% of the way there, but we turned around, we couldn't even see our tracks on the way out.
Right.
Thankfully, we have the hiking backpack from Maeve that has a little cover over it too, so we had her in a windproof cover and stuff. But I was not a happy camper because I've gotten used to wearing one pair of pants these days that fit, and so I'm wearing my normal jeans that I wear every day, and so the water started melting. My legs got all cold. But anyways, and then 10 minutes later, the sun was out again, and we were fine. Maeve she's the last couple of hikes has just not been having it. She's either asleep or screaming. So she screamed about an hour and a half, which is normal. I brought my earplugs. Hot tip for the moms out there. It's okay to wear earplugs around your children when there's literally nothing you can do except for just bear it.
Sorry.
Yeah, what were we going to do? We had no choice. Had to get back to the car. So
yeah, I went for a hike, but I went for one in my neighborhood, but I did early in the morning before anything was bad.
Yeah.
And it'd been a long time since it was about a little more than 3 miles. I had a good book I was listening to and just walking by myself all the end, turning around, looking around.
No dogs?
No dogs. No dogs.
Well, we're back.
We're back. It happens. Someone was here to pick up some absolutely stunning Cormo yarn. Ooh. So what I was going to say is on Saturday there was a group that came to for a tour of the mill. There were about, I think there were 12 altogether. They're from the Weston, Massachusetts area. There's a yarn shop there called The Unruly Stitch, which I think is kind of entertaining. And these women all kind of met through the yarn shop.
You said it's a relatively new yarn shop.
I think that's what one of the folks said. I want to say maybe a year or so.
Wow.
The owner is a woman named Ann Arundel. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I apologize. She had them all up for a retreat for the weekend, and part of it included coming over and doing a tour. And Erica Field.
They were in Vermont for their...
Yeah, they were in South Woodstock for the weekend, and they came up on Saturday. Mm-hmm. Erica Field, who did the Nourishment cowl, was part of the group. Great. And then a really neat woman, her name is, I gotta get this right, Irina Shar. Irina, I hope I pronounced it right. She has a podcast called Fiber Chats. and I've met her.
Check that out.
Yeah, I've met her several times. H&H, Rhinebeck. She was part of the group as well. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. Did the tour, and I always like having people actually see, what the magic is.
Yep.
Behind the curtain. And then they did a little shopping, and that was a nice thing on Saturday.
Very nice.
Yeah. What else is going on?
Well,
we've gotten some really interesting feedback on the Millcast.
The sweater?
Yeah.
Yeah, little did we know that the swancho is a whole garment category. It's a thing. I've heard of the shacket. I've heard.
Wait, shacket?
It's like a sweat. It's like a jacket shirt. It's like a thick shirt.
Okay.
Think like a heavy flannel, or sometimes they have like batting.
I'm with you. Yep.
Okay, shacket, but I've never heard of a swancho.
Swancho.
Until now, but I've worn one apparently.
Right,
so.
and that was on the last Millcast. It had lovely colorway all the way down, but it went way below your armhole.
It went way below the armpit.
It was the T-Rex line that caught a lot of people.
Yeah. So anyways, thank you for educating me. It's called a swancho, and it's a thing.
And thanks for yet more puns. I'm in. I should have a great pun to say so, but I'm all set with puns for the.
That's great, but we'll continue to accept them.
Of course.
If you think of some.
Yeah. I want to show off something really fun that we've been asking some folks to do some sample knits for us, so that we can just showcase how making tracks works out. Take a look at this. This is zinnia.
So gorgeous.
How fabulous is that?
Yeah.
One skein of zinnia in that yoke. Oh gosh! And you're going to have to look in the down below to see what the pattern is. I'm not positive that it's a Jennifer Steingass, but we'll let you know in the notes what the pattern is.
Yeah, this looks beautiful. A woman named Merritt knit this for us.
Yeah, and it's with the light gray is our
Montadale Cheviot Merino
with a little bit of that
border Leicester.
Yeah.
And
with
it's
yummy.
Zinnia, it's so nice. Yeah, it just looks yummy. So thank you, Merritt. For
Merritt,
making
that's
this,
just gorgeous.
Just another showcase of what making tracks really shines when you do
that
stranded work.
Yeah,
it's just so fun.
So cool.
Yeah, and wow, she's a fantastic knitter. This just looks like $1,000,000.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're right just a week into our knit along.
Yeah. And well, where's your project?
I am clearly not an organized person. You pull up yours, I'll be right back. Honest to God, this has been a day.
It's a day. Feels like, it's got the Monday thing going for it, but I will pull mine out. I'm really enjoying this project. It's something that I don't think I would have, went to on my own. I'm learning a lot of new stitches. It's also, I don't have any of these sort of, garments, but I'm excited for this one. I haven't quite figured out if I'm gonna keep mine or gift it.
I love how the colorway's going.
It is I was talking to Liz, who works for us, and she is also doing the knit along.
Yeah.
And she was sort of describing it as what did she say? Just sort of like a zen knit, it's just one more row. It's relaxing. It's fun to just, every row is different, but you can get in the rhythm on every single row.
Right. That's how I describe it. It's not tricky.
It's not, well, yeah, I think once you learn the few stitches that there are, which we're going to talk a little bit about in a minute, but once you learn about this, what do they call a KUL?
KUL, I had never heard of it.
Never heard of it either. That's the bit that's, it's making these, I don't know if you can see on here, these sort of V's.
Right.
Once you figure that one out, it's just a lot of slipping stitches. Yep. You're doing a yarn over to create a large stitch, but so far in this, I forget, what does she call this section? It's the Florentine frieze section of the nourishment cowl. It's just sort of, it's like a 10-row repeat, and you're just kind of following the instructions, switching colors.
I didn't do
You're
any
only
more.
Holding one at a time.
This is true. It's not. Yeah,
it's not stranded.
I haven't done any more than when you saw me last.
I think I'm ahead of you.
You are now ahead of me. Well,
I was I really got it. In fact, this morning, Maeve has been waking up early. Oh my gosh, let me tell just a little sidebar.
Yeah.
We moved her into her big girl bed a few weeks ago, right? And I've been not sleeping super well for a variety of reasons lately, so I'm usually up at 5 a.m. And so when I'm up at 5 a.m., I tiptoe downstairs, and the first week it's fine. She doesn't get up till 6 or 6:30, which is her normal time, and I get an hour.
Yeah.
And as any of you moms of young kids know, having an hour when no one else is up is
gold.
You need it.
Yeah.
It's worth possibly being a little sleep deprived for. But anyways, this past whole week, the kid is up. I swear she hears me or what, but she's up at 5 in the morning. So the other day, for the first time ever, I finally managed to sleep past 5 in the morning, and I had the experience of waking up for the first time ever to my kid at the side of my bed, which I'm sure is going to happen a lot.
Because she can get
out of her bed. But it was the first, she's so quiet. She gets up, she sneaks out, and she just, all of a sudden, I'm like in my deep sleep, and there I'm just like, Maeve! She's like right there.
I love it.
Anyways, it's pretty cute. But I don't even know. Oh, this morning, so I woke up at 5, and I tiptoed downstairs, because she was sort of waking up, and I was like, Cody can handle her. I'm very pregnant at this point.
Yeah.
And so I put on my little audiobook, and I raced to knit like 2 inches of this, because I was like, I gotta catch up to Peg. She's gonna beat me.
Oh, you're ahead of me. No,
Good.
I'll resume. What was the audiobook?
I've been listening to, oh gosh, hold on, I do want to get this right. It's, I think, called The Creative Act. I use this awesome app called, I'm just gonna plug it, Libro FM, which is like Audible, but it benefits your local bookstore.
Yep.
Rather than Amazon, which I think is cool. It's The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. And it's really calming to listen to. This is what the cover, I don't know if it's going to show up. That's the cover.
Yeah.
This was a big one that came out last year, and I listened to a podcast with him on Ezra Klein or something like that. And Rick Rubin, I think he's like a very famous music producer. He like did the Ramones and stuff like that. He's got Madonna. I don't know, all the Rick Rubin. So it's his like sort of woo-woo take on creativity in general. But I have to say, so far it's very relaxing to listen to. It's really like, you know, the chapters are short, but he has a lot on like when the inspiration strikes, you just gotta go with it. You've got to drop everything and do it. And I'm like, this guy either has never had children or has a partner who did everything
doing all
for
the work.
him.
Who's doing all the work.
So let's have a real so a lot of it I'm just like shrugging at, like this doesn't work for me, but it was one of those like best reads of the year last year, so I'm giving it a read. But I don't care that much that I'm gonna read it on paper. That's sort of my threshold. Right. Anyways, what do you on the subject, what are you listening to? You do a lot of audiobook stuff.
Like I just started Fourth Wing is this crazy runaway bestseller book. I've listened to that. When I first started it, it's a kind of fantasy, you know, it starts at a academy for people learning how to fly dragons. Okay, say no more. At first I thought, well, this is more like a YA book. I don't know. And then it gets pretty racy, but I really enjoyed the story. It was a great story, and I held off starting the second one. I waited like almost a month, and I've started the second one, and it jumps right in where the first one left. And I think it's called Flamethrower, Don't Hold Me to It. It's the book 2 of and it's Rebecca Yarrow, I think is her name.
It's a female author.
Yeah, female author. And you know, I jumped right back into the characters. I kind of know where we are in this crazy world.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. And that's what I listened to on my long walk on Sunday.
Well, if anyone has good audiobooks to listen to while you're knitting, we always here for them. Yeah. Because, I've been I usually do audiobooks with nonfiction, but I feel like that's just because I'm often multitasking and I feel like I can't enjoy it as much, and I just like I listen more for the information on a nonfiction.
If I'm knitting something and I get to a complicated section, I have to pause the book.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I've got to pause.
But this seems like, you know, once you get into this, you know, I've got to pause it like at the beginning of the row to remember like, okay, what am I doing here? But then I'm into it. So but okay, that was a winding way to talk about the knit along. But we got a few other knit along announcements.
Yes.
One is, we're really excited. This week we're going to do a virtual knit night. So, what that means, we're going to have a Zoom on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah. And everyone who's doing the knit along is welcome to join.
Come on and join us.
If you're not doing the knit along, you can just come and knit with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's going to be Peg and I hosting. We've got Liz, who works here, who agreed to moderate for us. And then we're going to have Erica Field on as a special guest to answer all of your pattern questions and just chat with us.
And we've never done this before, which is how we like to do things. Oh, let's do something we've never done before.
Yeah, it was Erica's idea. I thought it was a great idea, so we're going to try it. So we hope you can join us this Wednesday, which I guess if you're watching it right when this comes out is like tomorrow for you all. Right. And the information is going to be linked in the show notes, but you can also find it on our website under the events page.
So we'll see you Wednesday.
And in addition, speaking of the KULs and other fancy stuff that goes into this not even that fancy, but maybe new stitches. Erica's done a phenomenal job putting together a playlist of videos on YouTube, sort of helping through some of the specific stumbling blocks you might fall into with this knit along. So if it's seeming way too complicated for you and you're thinking about setting it aside, I urge you to check out those videos first. I also think her instructions are really great and clear.
I do too.
I haven't had an issue yet
I haven't
with
either.
it.
Yeah.
But she has like a good handful of videos explaining some of the more complicated or different aspects to it. So check those out. Those are in the show notes as well.
Very good. Should I show you what I am knitting?
Yeah, what else are you knitting? Well, it's not all the knitting.
Because I slowed down on my cowl, so I'm back to, I think I showed this to you before.
Oh!
I'm making progress.
Yes, you are.
So look at this.
So fun.
Yeah.
What do you even have left to do? Just
I got it, well, again, there was some great football this weekend, so I got the collar done.
Did you watch the Packers?
Oh, yes.
I did not. I FaceTimed my family during the Packer game because I didn't know. And they
oh
were
my
like,
God! They were just
they
rock. Oh, they did.
Okay.
They won handily. Yes, it was great. Yes, we were doing some serious cheering. I'm doing the short, armhole, and I've got to just do the other armhole, and then I'm done.
Fantastic.
And so this is a mohair that I got at I think it's called Sea Glass that I got at the Vermont Sheep and Wool Festival, and then I went to Scratch.
Soft.
Well, and the wool is not very soft, but when you pair it with that mohair,
it's that fuzziness,
yeah,
it's the glow. And this is petite knit, right?
That is the petite knit.
Is this the Stockholm slip over, or which one is this one?
I'm gonna have to put it in the notes because it's not gonna say on this sheet of paper. Sorry, I got really thrown by the heat being off. Can you tell?
I think it maybe isn't the Stockholm.
It isn't, because this is one where you start down and then you go up and over.
Okay, yeah. Stockholm is, which is the one that I had knit, is knit top down, and it has more of a sloping.
I'm sorry, you'll have to check the notes.
Check
anyway,
the notes.
That's what I'm going to finish up, and then by Wednesday I'll be back in on the nourishment cowl.
Better be. We got
Absolutely.
it. We only have, I don't know, a month and a half left.
It'll
we'll
happen.
get it done.
It'll happen.
So we had some exciting news this week.
We're talking about the 1,000 pounds.
Oh yeah.
Chapter 44. So the 1,000 pounds arrived. It's scoured down, actually. Now, just quick backstory: 1,000 pounds in upstate New York. Got my brother to go over and help me manually pack it. Got a freight company to ship it down to Jamestown, South Carolina. Got shipped up from South Carolina, and it arrived.
So South Carolina is where the scouring plant was.
Correct.
Yeah, so it got scoured. It arrived on, what was it? I can't even remember what day.
Friday?
Thursday, something like that.
And
it was like the one time you weren't at the mill.
I know. But it scoured down to actually 572 pounds. Yes. And the way they wrap it, there is this really heavy gauge.
Wait, can I tell the story of how it got here first?
Oh, that's right.
You weren't here for it.
I wasn't here for it.
I had to handle this. And so the big pregnant belly lady.
What do you want me to do?
The guy was like, I cannot possibly get my semi-truck in for delivery near your overhead door where we wanted it stored. And I was like, I get that. The plowing in our parking lot was kind of a disaster last week with all the snow, so the cars weren't leaving enough room for him to get around. So he parked right in front of the mill on the busiest road.
A full-on semi, right?
A full-on semi, and he had to take his fork or his what do they call
pallet
it?
Jack.
Pallet jack. And this guy, I think it was only because I was this pregnant and like I can't. What do you want? And he just nicely huffed and puffed it up the slope.
Yeah, because there's a bit of a slope.
And there's slush and all this other stuff.
Geez.
And thankfully, Emma, one of our awesome employees, shoveled out a path into the overhead door. And he managed to put it in there. And Emma and him did the final push
it
through,
in.
because there's a 2-inch lip on,
that's right. There's
the
a
door.
little bit of a concrete lip.
Anyways, we made it. I was proud of the whole team. I sat by and supervised unhelpfully.
Well, speaking of supervised, so it has this really heavy gauge wrapping it around sideways and over. And the thing is, it's so tight that when you use the wire cutter, they can spring open.
Yeah, there's if anyone has read Vanishing Fleece by Clara Parks, this was what was going through my mind, because I didn't know about this exploding pallet thing. But then I read her book and I was filed that away. It's scary to open a bale of wool.
and rightly so, you shouldn't touch it at all.
I said, Peg, I'm not even going to be in the same part of the building.
I'm thinking I can do it. I go down and look at it and I go, this thing is so tight. I gotta get Todd to do it. I'd rather see him get lacerated than me. So the next day, Todd comes down with the wire cutters, and I did a little videotaping. And by God, that first one, it was like, pow! All right, Todd is here to take his life in his own hands to open up. Yeah. Gosh. That's incredible. Like, that's terrifying.
You're telling me.
It just like, and it springs for it, then he gets to the next one, and then it's wrapped in plastic, and then all of a sudden the plastic just tears open, and out comes the wool. Didn't go anywhere too far. So this is just a little sample of the
it's
wool.
so clean, which is
it's
what
immaculate.
you want to say about it.
It's got a few fleece that are colored, so when
It's gonna look so.
it's gonna be fabulous. It's gonna be fabulous. But here it is.
And I'm glad to see that the dark fleeces got like well integrated into it. So we should just be able to put this right in the picker, and we're
gonna dye it first.
So, well, we should maybe do some of it solid too. It's so
we'll do something solid, and then we'll also have some fun.
They're all solid, but some of it undyed. I meant
undyed, and then that's on our list today. Figure out what the hell we're gonna do with it now.
But so it's here. So congratulations.
It's
this
a
is
test.
Your big project.
It's a test that again we've got to now spin it, but yeah, I think it was a good
experiment,
yeah.
A worthwhile experiment.
Yeah.
We don't know if we're gonna do it again, but we got to run the numbers.
Part of the challenge is it's a 1,000-pound minimum that you have to send down there, and it is not easy to source 1,000 pounds from a single farm, and then it becomes the question of, well, do you want to get 200 from here and 300 from there, and then
you're storing it here.
Yeah,
and
so
ship it
we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Keep. I feel like we got to call it the line, the 1,000-pound line.
Well, and just a real, since we're sort of putting a cap on like this part of the project, the reason we started looking into it is that there is such a bottleneck for scouring at mills like ours. In case everyone is wondering, why aren't they just washing it here? It's because we thought it would be less expensive to do it this way, and simply because when we're scouring, we're doing it in 5-pound batches, and it takes 20 minutes a batch. We can do 4 batches at the same time, but then that's someone's whole job, basically.
Right, but that's 20 minutes for one scour, and we scour it twice, and we rinse it twice. So
it's like over an hour, and then you've got to dry it, and it's just
very labor intensive.
Labor and also input, like electricity to power the hot water heaters, and a ton of water to do it. So
so we wanted to give it a try.
We'll try a more efficient way, and who knows. So we're gonna continue to think about, and I know all mills and all people involved with like fiber shed stuff are thinking this problem through. Like, how do you solve for the cleaning the fleece situation?
So that's we're
Very
close.
cool.
We're at a happy ending for that chapter, and then we'll see what happens next.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So what else have we got?
Well, we've been switching gears a little to do more custom processing. We kind of go in waves where we'll do making tracks and our farm fresh line for a while, and then sometimes we'll just dive into custom processing.
This is just gorgeous.
Yeah, and to remind folks, custom processing is when we process the fleece from local sheep farmers. They drop off their fleece, they pay us for the service of processing it, and then they pick it up and do whatever they wish with it.
Right.
And this is some really lovely, I hope that some of the luster in this comes out. This is a Romney Cheviot mix, and what's really striking is it really goes to show how Romney truly is one of the long wool breeds, even though sometimes there's a huge range of Romney.
Yeah,
sometimes it can look a lot more like a medium weight wool, like crimpy, but you're getting that luster. That's from the Romney in this case. And it's just a gorgeous color.
Yeah,
and
it's lovely.
Cheviot too can be that way as well. It's just so nice.
Yeah.
So it's
gorgeous.
2-ply. It's gonna make some lovely garments, I think.
I think so.
So we're excited to get that back to its owner.
Yep.
And you've got something on your schedule this weekend for the mill.
Heading down to Wayland, Massachusetts, the Russell Garden Center, for what's just a terrific event. It's a lot of farms with their fiber there. Junction Fiber will be there with our Millcast, our making tracks and some other goodies. And we'll be there from, I think it's 10 to 3, don't hold me to it, but it's the Russell Garden Center Fiber Days, Farm Fiber Days. Peg Mallet runs the show. It's excellent. There's great food. come at lunchtime, and the food trucks will be there. I've got confirmation that the food truck will be there.
I'm gonna have to make it to Wayland this weekend. My excuse is I'm going on a moon with my husband, so we are going to New York City for the weekend. My folks are coming into town to care for Maeve, and that'll be just delightful.
That's gonna be great.
Yeah. I can't wait.
Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be fun.
All right. Well, we will sign off for this week and talk to you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye-bye.